Good morning, everybody. Today I will discuss about types of computer system in information technology in management. Section 1 of information technology in management. It is having several topics, but in the previous lecture I have discussed about the basic components of the computer system. That is the first topic of section 1. So here, this is the second topic of section 1, types of computer system. Now the computer systems can be classified on the following basis: on the basis of size, on the basis of functionality, on the basis of data handling. So we will discuss one by one about the classification of the computer system. So at first I will discuss on the basis of size. Classification on the basis of size. The first one is supercomputer. The supercomputers are the most high performing system, or we can say that a supercomputer is a computer with a high level of performance compared to a general purpose computer. The actual performance of a supercomputer is measured in flops instead of MIPS. Flops is having much more speed than MIPS. Flops is floating operations per second. MIPS is millions instructions per second. All of the world's fastest 500 supercomputers run Linux-based operating systems. Additional research is being conducted in China, US, and EU, Taiwan, and Japan to build even faster, more high-performing, and more technological, technologically superior supercomputers. So now the supercomputers are the best performing computers on the basis of size. It has been classified. Now the next one is our supercomputers actually plays an important role in the field of computation and are used for intensive computation tasks in various fields, including quantum mechanics, weather forecasting, climate research, oil and gas exploration, molecular modeling, and physical simulations. And also, throughout the history, supercomputers have been essential in the field of cryptanalysis. There are several examples of supercomputers are there. Example: Param, Jaguar, Roadrunner. These are the supercomputers which we all are having. Now, this is a simple view of supercomputer. As we know that depending on the size, on the basis of size, we are classifying computers over here. So If we think about the size of supercomputer, it is much bigger than the simple computer. Now, the second one is mainframe computers. These are commonly called as big iron, or they are usually used by big organizations for bulk data processing such as statics, census data processing, transaction processing, and are widely used as the servers, as these systems has a higher processing capabilities as compared to the other classes of computers. Most of these mainframe architectures were established in 1960. The first company for mainframe is IBM, International Business Machine. The research and development work continuously over the years, and the mainframes of today are far more better than the earlier ones in size, capacity, and efficiency. In our olden days, in 1960s, the mainframe were developed. Mainframe computers were developed. But at that time, our mainframe computers are not so efficient. But as the time passes, lots of changes were made, and now our mainframe computers are more efficient and it works efficiently. It is having high processing capability. So there are some examples of mainframe computers, that is IBM Z series, System Z9, System Z10 servers. Mainframe computers are widely used for servers, as the server is having better performance or better processing capabilities. That's why mainframe computers are widely used as the servers, as these systems has a higher processing capability. Now, this is a simple view of mainframe computers. If we talk about the size of mainframe computer, so it is quite less larger than the supercomputers. IBM is having its mainframe computers. So this is a image of mainframe computer of IBM Z series. Now, mini computer. These computers came into the market in mid 1960s and were sold at a much cheaper price than the mainframes. They were actually designed for control, instructions, human interaction, and communication switching as distinct from calculation and record keeping. Later, they become very popular for personal uses with evolution. In the 60s, to describe the smaller computers than now, if we talk about mini computers, so mini computer is nothing but our personal computer, or you can say that your laptop, your personal laptop is your mini computer. So it is somewhat user friendly, or you can say that human can easily interact or store their record, store their data in mini computers, we can say. These computers are smaller. These computers are less expensive. These computers can be kept in our room, even though we can say that in our bag also. These are very small computers as compared to mainframe and supercomputers. So the next is your image of mini computer. This is a simple image, we can say that, of mini computer which we all are having at our home, in your college, in some government organization, or many places you can see mini computer in the bank, in electricity office, in hospital, or different companies are using mini computer. Now the next one is microcomputer. What is microcomputer? A macrocomputer is a small, relatively inexpensive computer with a microprocessor as its CPU. These microcomputers are having some microprocessor installed in it. It includes a microprocessor, memory, and minimal input output circuitry mounted on a single printed circuit board. The best example of microcomputers are tablet, tablets, smartwatches, calculators. So these are the microcomputers. In our day-to-day life, there are some smart gadgets which we use as microcomputers. So these are the four computers that we can classify on the basis of size. The first one is supercomputer, second one is mainframe computer, third one is mini computer, and the last one is microcomputers. Now, we classify computer on the basis of their functionality. But let us see a quick glimpse of the image of microcomputer. That is, these are the microcomputers, you can say, small gadgets which we all use are the microcomputers. One is classification on the basis of functionality. If we talk about the computer system which can be classified on the basis of functionality, then the first one is our servers. Servers are the most dedicated computers which are set up to offer some services to the clients. They are named depending on the type of services they offer. Suppose that we are the client and we want some services from some organization. If we are having our account in some bank, so that bank will offer many type of services to their client with the help of servers. The best example, whenever you visit to the bank for some work, the bank employee says that server is down. So today your work will not be done. Tomorrow you can come. Why it is so? there is some issue in their servers. That's why their servers are not working properly. So the bank employee says that you can come tomorrow. Today, we can't provide any service to you. Inconvenient is deeply regretted, they all are saying. So these are the things about the servers, or whatever the services offered by the servers, the naming of the server done on the basis of services they offered only. Suppose that we are getting some security services, then those servers are known as security servers. If we are having some data on the servers, then that type of servers are known as database servers. Now, this is a simple image of servers, you can say. This is a server room where multiple servers are installed, and on this server only our data rely or data stored. From here only we get the services with the help of internet, with the help of your computer, your mobile phone, and different gadgets are available. Now, the next one is your workstation. Now, if you talk about workstation, so wherever we use our personal computer for our day-to-day work or commercial work, or any single user uses any computer at one place, they run multi-user operating systems, or these type of computers are basically designed to primarily used by single person, or we can say that single user at a time. The computer which we use in our offices, which we use in our school, which we use in our colleges, those type of computers are known as workstation computers. This is a image of workstation. Simple, you will get the computer at one place and a single person can use that computer at a same time, or we can say that at once. Now the next is our information appliances. They are the portable devices which are designed to perform a limited set of tasks like basic calculations, playing multimedia, browsing internet, etc. Information appliances are the appliances which we use in our day-to-day life for our daily use, or we can say that the devices which we use to make our life easy are known as information appliances, or we can say that the appliances which are used to access information for enjoyment, for playing multimedia games. So these type of appliances are known as information appliances. They have very limited memory and flexibility and generally run on as-is basis. As-is basis means certain functions are having to this type of appliances. Apart from that, it will not perform any specific functions. So these are some information appliances, your mobile phone, your tablets, and these are the things which are used for information appliances. Now the next one is embedded computers. They are the computing devices which are used in other machines to serve limited set of requirements. If we talk about embedded computers, they follow instructions from the non-volatile memory, and they are not required to execute, reboot, or reset. The processing units used in such device work to those basic requirements only and are different from the ones that are used in personal computers, better known as workstation. But if we talk about embedded computers, embedded computers is nothing but a small chip, a small circuit board which is already programmed, by the programmers to execute certain functions, to execute certain work, to reboot option, to reset option. We use embedded computers. This is having limited set of instructions, limited set of requirements. With the help of embedded computers, we can have big machines or large machines. They use several embedded computers. You can see an image of embedded computer over here. Yeah, this is only the embedded computers. So embedded computers, or you can say that simply the circuit boards having multiple components which are used in robots or different machines. So this type of computers are classified according to their functionality, or we can say that on the basis of the functionality. We discuss in the next lecture about the classification of computers on the basis of data handling. On the basis of data handling. Till then, thank you to all of you. Thanks a lot. If we talk about classification on the basis of data handling, so the computer system is classified into three sections, or we can say that analog computer system, digital computer system, and hybrid computer system. Analog computer system. An analog computer is a form of computer that uses the continuously changeable aspects of physical facts such as electrical, mechanical, or hydraulic quantities to model the problem being solved. Means in analog computer, if there is some changeable aspects such as electrical changes, mechanical changes, or hydraulic quantities changes, then that problem is being solved, and anything that is variable with respect to time and continuous can be claimed as analog, just like an analog clock measures time by means of the distance traveled by the spokes of the clock around the circular dial. Analog computer is having needle which shows about the measurement, or to measure time we are having analog clock in analog computer. So analog computer is having this type of image. Yeah, you can see here is the needle. Depending on the changes over here, the needle will move on from one number to another number. Now, digital computer, the computer that perform calculation and logic operations with quantities represented as digits, usually in the binary number system of 0 and 1 expressed in discrete, it can perform mathematical calculations, organize and analyze data, control industrial and other processes, and simulate dynamic systems such as global weather patterns. So digital computers is having the combination of 0 and 1. Digital computers is capable of solving problems in discrete forms, or we can say that digital computers are more capable than analog computers. That's why digital computers are used for dynamic systems and global weather patterns. This is a view of digital computer, that is our laptop. Laptop is a digital computer. Now, hybrid computer, a computer that processes both analog and digital data. Hybrid computer is a digital computer that accepts analog signals, convert them to digital and processes them in digital form. We can say that hybrid computer process both analog as well as digital data. That's why it is more capable than both the computer. So this is a hybrid computer. Yeah. Digital as well as analog data can be processed with the help of hybrid computers. So these are all about the classification of computer system on the basis of size, on the basis of functionality, on the basis of their data handling. Now, thanks a lot. Yeah.